My 21 meters wife 20F wants a kid relentlessly and won't stop asking when I clearly explain why. Yes, I know we are young, we both grew up really fast and we knew we were going to get married some day, so why not at 18? Yeah, down of you may say it's a mistake, but I really need help here. I myself am in the military and she thinks we are settled down enough to have a kid. 2 years ago I told her let's get to my permanent assignment, then we can talk about it. She thought that was a promise to have a kid by now at the time. Currently she will not stop asking me to have one, and most nights she cries and gets upset when I clearly explain to her why. My explanation every time usually goes like her asking to have one and saying it's not a huge change to what we are doing now and you promised me 2 years ago. Then I usually say no, we are young and I want to enjoy our time together and get to travel while we can and have so much time. Then she continues to say that I'm being selfish and that we've known each other so long, and also that age doesn't matter when having one. Bottom line, I want to wait until at least 23, but I don't know how to curb this any longer, whereas I always make it very clear how we should go about it in getting our finances built up as well as our relationship stronger than it already is, as well as being able to experience being young for as long as we can. Please help. Thank you all. People change a lot between 17, 18 and 25. So the differences in future plans you're seeing now is probably just the tip of the iceberg and what will change in the next few years. That's one reason getting married so young rarely works out. It isn't that you aren't adult enough to do it. It's that the adult you are at 18 and the adult you are at 25 are damn near two different people. Most of the time, and a whole lot of the time, it involves growing in a different direction from the person you married at 18 and vice versa. Sit down with her and have a discussion, not just about babies but about your future goals and timelines in general. How long you want to be active military? How long you want to be at your current site? When do you want to buy a home? What places do you want to travel and when are you hoping to do so? Just everything. You really need to figure out if you're still compatible long term. During this discussion, be very clear with her that you won't consider kids until you're 23 at the earliest. No exceptions. And if she isn't okay with that, then you aren't the right guy for her and should consider divorce so you can both find people who share your future goals. In the meantime, wear a condom that has never been out of your possession every single time you have sex and rinse it out before putting it in the trash. Baby rabies has caused many people to act in underhanded ways that normally they would never even consider. You guys are way too young to have a baby. Trust me, I had two by your age and it is hard. Enjoy your youth and your marriage. I don't regret my kids, but it would have been nice to spend some years with my husband without kids. They're not cheap or easy and you want to make sure you're financially and mentally ready for that, so you can fully enjoy your kids. Why do people get married before talking about all the typical milestones that happen in marriage? Get her to babysit a baby for a week. She'll change her mind. Take away the fantastical baby idea and show her reality. Has she considered taking a college class or two? A lot of duty stations also offer career training in a specific field for spouses of junior enlisted. Dental tech, medical coding, for example. It's hard to be a military spouse sometimes, but having something productive to do with your time is a huge help. If she's not interested in work or education, then I would suggest getting involved in some volunteer activities with the wives groups. There is always something to get involved with, as everyone is advising you. You are both very young. It's natural for her to think that kids are the next step. But it makes perfect sense to wait a couple of years and enjoy your time as a married couple before moving on to parenthood. Good luck. Thanks for serving. Heart. Did she give you a concrete reason why she wants so much to have a baby right now? If not, ask her to articulate. I'd recommend you check what services you have available at your assignment. Most have wives groups, couples groups and other resources. There's also military family life counselors. I think this is the right website. https://military1source.mil/confidential-help/non-medical-counseling/free-confide. NTIAL face-to-face non-medical counseling. Also, I'd focus on you guys doing activities with other couples with no kids and couples with kids. OBV when being social is allowed again. Something she's going to see real quick is the couples with kids have much less freedom. Good babysitters can be hard to find and are pricey. Speaking as a woman who married at 19, had my first at 20 and second at 23, I think sometimes it would have been nice to wait a couple of years before having our kids. There's nothing so great about having kids young that will change between now and 2 to 3 years. Waiting a couple of years is a really mature choice, and if that is how you feel, stand strong and best of luck. You're going to end up with a surprise baby. Be careful, and your wife needs therapy. This is one of those things that you may not be able to fix or compromise. First, I would try couples counseling to guide you both in the direction you want to go and come up with a strategy. I'm with you, man. You definitely have the more logical reasoning. Your argument makes valid sense, and I completely agree with you and encourage you to stick to your guns. The problem is, the emotional thinker may not be swayed too easily, and if either person gives in, then resentment becomes unavoidable. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her plans, but it's important to understand that this kind of thinking runs deep. And I mean deep to an almost subconscious level. Us girls are raised to believe our worth and value stems from motherhood and being a good wife. You go to school, get married, start a family, and bonus points if grandparents are still alive and you're still young enough to play ball with your kid. Forget freedom. Forget financial security. Forget your passions. Forget your relationship. BC, the most important job for a woman is to be a mom. At least that's what we've been told our whole lives. You mentioned your wife is bored. This is a huge problem and a huge reason she is looking for that next big step in her life. Meaning, she is so young and she may not realize that her happiness is not dependent on children. I would encourage her to find her passion first, before kids, and work towards her goals. Challenge her to sit down and write down all of her hopes and dreams, go over them together and figure out a plan to get them accomplished. It may get her to start thinking logistics and figuring out how a kid fits into all of this. Get specific with details, dates, times, lay out everything she envisions. If she can't come up with anything, can't lay out a 5-year plan to commit to, and she just wants to figure out as she goes along, then are you two really that compatible? Does her vision align with your vision? I would also encourage her to read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and also Girl, Wash Your Face. These will help give her some ideas. Good luck! She needs to majorly slow down. Why is she in such a rush to get through all these life milestones? She can't even legally drink in US, and is already married and now wanting a child. You're right, I wanna wait. She's the selfish one trying to pressure you into this lifelong commitment when you aren't ready yet. And it's pretty obvious she's not ready either. Crying all the time because you won't get her pregnant before she's legally allowed to rent a car. She sounds very immature. I'm sure she's thinking about the cute little outfits and the silly videos she can share on Instagram, but she's not considering what it really means to have a baby. It will cause major changes in your relationship. Your patience with each other is going to be tested every day. Stress will be through the roof, and there's the possibility of her developing postpartum depression, or there being medical complications with either her or the baby. You are absolutely right to want to spend a few years being young and happy together. But your girlfriend is a selfish brat who should probably take a look in the mirror if she wants a baby so bad. You are too young and you made a mistake. But you know that already. Regardless, your wife's insistence is a bit scary in the sense that she may tamper with birth control. A kid is a two-yes situation. Only have a kid if both say yes. Not if one doesn't and the other does. Having a kid too early when you aren't sure is a huge mistake and not good for the kid or the person who didn't want a kid at that time. Not to mention the resentment you will feel to your child and to her. Her temper tantrums show she is not mentally ready to be a mother either. Stand your ground, keep your condoms extra safe, and keep saying no. If she continues to be insistent and does not respect your wishes, then maybe consider marriage counseling or walking away for someone who does fit what you want. Keep your condoms under close supervision, dude. Or buy new ones every time. Truth is, a lot of people are still pretty childish AF 20. Maybe most people. And if her big tactic is to ask the same question over and over to get her way, she's too much of a kid to have kids. Also, nobody should be pressured into having children ever. You need to stop thinking about this rationally and start talking to her about her emotions on this matter. Connect with her. It sounds like y'all are no longer compatible, as there's no middle ground between kids and no kids. Yet, I don't know how to approach this conversation with her. But I would not have sex with her because her sabotaging y'all's birth control is a real danger. And even if it were a true oopsie pregnancy, she will want to keep it and you don't want a child right now. So, marriage counseling if you want to try to save the marriage, and divorce if you think there's no changing her mind. Especially as I really don't think it's safe to have sex with her while she's this hung up on having a baby, and I'm going to assume sex is at least somewhat important to you in a relationship. Oh, and you're not being selfish. You're being smart about knowing what you want and wanting to be financially prepared for a child. And age does matter, and she's showing just how young she is by thinking having a baby isn't going to be an enormous change to y'all's lives. Again, do not have sex with her. She's going to get pregnant with or without your help, or not wanting to is my guess. She work? Sounds like she wants to sit on her ass while you make the dough. No respect for that. You are both still growing, maturing, and changing, and will continue to, especially for the next few years. She seems to lack maturity, and that could affect her judgment. She might become irrational and be tempted to sabotage birth control. Be careful. Get a puppy? Talk to her about how she feels and why she feels like she wants a kid now, and try to address whatever the underlying need is. For example, is she worried that if you don't have one now, you never will? If so, you could reassure her about the future. Or is she feeling lonely or bored? If so, you could come up with some fun things to do in the time you have with her, and show her lots of affection. Please don't seriously consider a divorce based on the comments on this thread. People are jumping to suggesting divorce with nowhere near enough information for that to be a reasonable suggestion. There is no evidence that she is going to start sabotaging your birth control plans or anything else like that. Well, I don't think I'm used to hearing married couples that are in the early 20s. I mean, I guess you could sit her down and explain that you are not changing your mind on this. You have some goals you want to attend to before having kids. Honestly, she's not respecting your decision at this point. I would even say trying to manipulate you by bringing up that you're selfish. Don't let her make you change your mind about this. Trust me, you don't want a kid at your age. This is the age to discover shit and have fun.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.